100%. Every football club is their supporters. And if your supporters are hard-working class supporters, that's your foundation. And that's my view on it. Every football club, don't get beyond yourself. Don't get beyond, keep your values, keep the values in which your club are built on. And it's the supporters. The great man says your football's nothing without supporters. Look after his supporters first. And I just feel that, the values of your club's more important than making money. It's about the values of your club. And that's probably my view on it, really. No, that's exactly it. I think that a lot of football clubs is all about the community and the people. It's easy, and that's why I take my hat off to the supporters that support their local club, through thick or thin, and that's what it's all about. And that's what the values, and seeing these supporters in the same faces and celebrating with you, and even in defeat, feeling your pain. That's what football's all about. It's all about the supporter. It's all about. I've always been brought up football, that working class blue collar sport. That's what football clubs built on. You see it. Heavy industry, cities, heavy industry, but they all come together to watch your football team on a Saturday or a Sunday now. That's what makes football special. Let's not ever get away from that. It's not about money. It's about your supporter and the community of your club.
I think to Dundee, I think Dundee and Dundee United are massive. Like, we talk about community. We had, I don't know, a 4-day period there where we had kids out playing on the pitch during Easter camps, and you're talking about the local community, the joy that brought to the kids, and we're out watching them, and the sessions were great, and great for the academy staff getting them on there, and then just the impact it has on all our fans now. We're in a difficult situation, of course, with COVID, but see the fans when they're here and enjoy coming here, and I've always said that about Dundee and Dundee United. It's a football rivalry, so it's a great rivalry, but it's football and purely football, and I like that. I played in Hibs Hearts derbies, and obviously I'm for the west of Scotland, so I know what the Celtic Rangers derby's all about as well, and there's a bit that goes with that I'm not so keen on, but the Dundee and Dundee United derby always seemed to just be about the football, and that was it. You get the off, or the odd wee bit of whatever that just comes with, that's human nature, but for up here, I know it's away for the question of this league, or this European league we're talking about, but the two clubs are huge to the community up here, and it's great when I don't live up here, but even when the nights I do stay up, when you bump into a Dundee fan or a Dundee United fan, and just how much they love their football and love their clubs is.
Yeah, I think probably like most who I think enjoy the traditional aspects of the game, and probably most of a certain generation that have grown up with football being in a certain structure and format, I think is probably quite a sad day for us that we're edging towards that type of scenario if it all comes to fruition. It's maybe indicative of the modern world in terms of how the rich try and get richer, and people become increasingly greedy when they sniff increased finances. And I accept that what it does is give these big teams a far more guaranteed source of revenue and huge revenues. But the attraction of sport and football for me has always been the unpredictable nature of it, and we're verging towards losing that if this all progresses. So obviously I'm a little bit removed from it in terms of affecting me where I stand at the moment, but certainly my general feeling as a football lover is one of disappointment and sadness. So I mentioned earlier about people at certain clubs maybe not being really in touch with what happens at football clubs, and not just small clubs. I mean, we're a big club, but we've got a brilliant traditional loyal fan base that we want to continue to grow, but they are huge parts of people's lives and communities. And growing up a football fan, I'm lucky that I do this as a job, but I'm still a football fan, and I recognise how significant a part it plays in people's life. And the day we forget that will be a sad day. And I think that there are still more than enough people in the game on all sides of it that recognise significance of it, which hopefully will mean that, irrespective of what happens with the ESL, that I think the rest of the game will remain in good order.
Yeah, well, looking in terms of us, I don't think our fans have got anything to worry about. I'm not sure we'll get an invite to the Super League. I mean, our club is massive in the community, you know, and I don't just say that because that's what I'm supposed to say, or you know, the fans will enjoy hearing me say that. You know, we have constant discussions here behind the scenes. You know, both myself and Tony and the board and Gail Brannigan, who runs our charitable foundation, you know, James Hunter, our guy in the media that you guys all know. You know, we're constantly trying to come up with new ways to try and engage with our supporters. And this year more than any, because obviously we can't interact with them out there in the stadium. We've got to come up with different ways of doing it. But yeah, we are very much a community club. We're very proud of it. You know, we, prior to COVID, you know, myself and the players were always out visiting schools, whether it was during the book week, out reading stories to the kids. It's something, again, that we had plans to do this year. We've got, you know, a really, really big number of schools in this area, in Paisley and in Renfrewshire. And we were going to divvy the schools up between the squad, and we were going to have 2 players assigned to 2 or 3 different schools, and they were going to, you know, pay visits to those schools at least once a month throughout the season. And it's only an hour out of their day, you know, and the players were up for it, and we were all up for it, because it just, you know, I think it's a nice thing to do. And I think the young kids appreciate seeing professional footballers in and around the schools. And listen, if anything, it might bring us some fans off the back of it. We might get some new supporters off the back of it. But no, listen, like I said, I've been heavily involved with the charity. We were out delivering meals and doing all kinds of stuff during lockdown. And we've got the Kilt Walk coming up at the end of this week as well. Again, we're trying to raise money for some really, really big, important projects to us here in Paisley. And that's what we'll continue to do in the future.
I heard Gary Neville after the Man United Burnley game at the weekend, and I actually got the fire in my own belly listening to how passionate he was about the English game, its history, what is steeped in the pyramid system. And it relates back to yourselves. You touched upon it in your question there. We're a community club. You know, we're steeped in history. People are proud to support this club. There's nobody bigger in the club. And the thing there for ourselves is, you know, that's the thing that we've missed this season with COVID, with the virus, you know, that connection with the supporters. And it's something that you don't want to lose in football, because, you know, football will evolve. I think Gary Neville touched upon that. When I grew up, it was a European Cup. You know, it was only the Champions League that competed in those tournaments. It's evolved a little bit. It's moved on. The Champions League, which is a great spectacle, and it'll continue to do that, football. You know, who's to see what the Champions League will be in the next 5-10 years? But I think we've got to be mindful that, you know, people pay money to come and watch football games, and they work very hard to earn that money. And, you know, you've got to look after your supporters, because they're the life and soul of the club. They're the blood of the club. And I just think that, you know, what they're looking at doing with this Super League, you know, are we losing that feeling between the bond between clubs and supporters?